Hi guys, welcome to my study compass. In this video, I'll be walking you through the past paper, Math P2, Variant 1, October November 2019. Let's get started. Work out 5% of $25. 5% of $25 can be written as 5 over 100 times $25, and this gives us $1.25. Factorize 5p plus pt. When we factor out p, we are left with 5 plus t. Calculate 16.379 minus 0.879 divided by 4.2 times 1.241. Give your answer correct to two significant figures. When we type this into the calculator, we get 4.57988095238. The second significant figure is 5, and the number after 5 is 7. Since this number is greater than 5, we add 1 to 5 and ignore the rest of the numbers, and so this leaves us with 4.6. Write 15060 in words. So this is 15,060. Write 15060 in standard form. When we move the decimal point from the end of the number to a position after the first non-zero digits, we have 1.506. Because we moved the points 4 times to the left, we have times 10 raised to the power 4. And so our final answer becomes 1.506 times 10 raised to the power 4. Simplify 5c minus d minus 3d minus 2c. 5c minus 2c gives us 3c, minus d minus 3d gives us minus 4d. And so our final answer is 3c minus 4d. Solve x minus 2 divided by 3 equals 3. 3 is dividing on one side of the equation, so it goes to multiply 3 on the other side of the equation. And so this gives us x minus 2 is equal to 3 times 3, which is 9. When we make x the subject, we have x equals 9 plus 2, which is 11. Simplify 2x cubed times 3x squared. So 2 times 3 gives us 6. And for the x terms, we have x raised to the power 3 plus 2. 3 plus 2 gives us 5. And so our final answer is 6x raised to the power 5. Without using a calculator, work out 5 over 16 times 1 over 7. You must show all your working and give your answer as a fraction in its simplest form. So in the first step, we convert the mixed fraction 1 over 7 into an improper fraction. 7 times 1 gives us 7, plus 1 is 8 divided by 7. And so we have 5 over 16 times 8 over 7. 8 goes into itself once and goes into 16 2 times. So for the numerator, we have 5 times 1 giving us 5, and for the denominator, we have 2 times 7 giving us 14. And so our final answer is 5 over 14. Paula invests $600 at a rate of R% per year simple interest. At the end of 10 years, the total interest earned is $90. Find the value of R. The total interest Paula earns after 10 years is equal to R% of her principal multiplied by 10. We've been told that at the end of 10 years, the total interest she has is $90. And we also know that her principal is $600. And so we have 90 equals 10 times R over 100 times 600. 10 times 600 divided by 100 gives us 60. And so we have 90 is equal to 60R. When we make R the subject, we have 90 divided by 60, which gives us 1.5. Simplify x cubed divided by 8 all raised to the power negative 4 over 3. We can rewrite 8 as 2 raised to the power 3. So by the laws of indices, this can be rewritten as x raised to the power 3 times negative 4 over 3 divided by 2 raised to the power 3 times negative 4 over 3. 3 times negative 4 over 3 gives us negative 4. 1 over 2 raised to the power negative 4 gives us 16. And we have x raised to the power negative 4. And so our final answer becomes 16x raised to the power negative 4. P is equal to 2r plus pi r. Rearrange the formula to write r in terms of p and pi. In the first step, we need to factor out r. And when we do this, we are left with 2 plus pi. When we make r the subject, 2 plus pi goes to the other side to divide. And so we are left with r equals p divided by 2 plus pi. The sides of a square are 15.1 centimeters, correct to 1 decimal place. Find the upper bound of the area of the square. 15.1 centimeters, correct to 1 decimal place, can be written as 15.1 plus and minus 0.1 divided by 2. Since we are interested in finding the upper bound of the area of the square, we need to find the upper bound of the side of the square. And so we ignore the minus, and this leaves us with 15 plus 0.1 divided by 2 centimeters, which gives us 15.15 centimeters. The area of a square is L squared, and so the upper bound for the area will be the upper bound of the length, which is 15.15 squared. And so this gives us 229.5225 centimeters squared. Calculate the area of the triangle. Looking at the diagram, we've been given the lengths of two sides of the triangle and the angle between these two lengths. And so we can apply the formula for finding the area, which is half AB sine theta. In this case, we have A equals half of 11 times 13 times sine 39 degrees centimeters squared. And this gives us 45.0 centimeters squared, correct to 3 significant figures. The scale of a map is 1:10 million. On the map, the area of Slovakia is 4.9 centimeters squared. Calculate the actual area of Slovakia. Give your answer in square kilometers. So let's set up our ratio. Since we are dealing with area, we need to square our linear scale factor. And so from this, we can set up our equation as 4.9 centimeters squared divided by 1 squared is equal to x divided by 10 million squared. To convert our answer to kilometers squared, we need to multiply 4.9 by 10 raised to the power negative 2 squared and divide by 10 raised to the power 3 squared. This gives us 49,000 kilometers squared. Y is inversely proportional to x squared. When x is equal to 4, y is equal to 2. Find y when x is equal to 1 over 2. In mathematical terms, let's write y is inversely proportional to x squared. This means that y is equal to a constant which we are going to call k divided by x squared. To find the value of k, we are going to substitute the values of x and y given in the question into our equation. This gives us 2 is equal to k divided by 4 squared. When we make k the subject, we have 2 times 4 squared, which is equal to 32. So for our equation, we now have y is equal to 32 divided by x squared. When x is equal to 1 over 2, we have y is equal to 32 divided by 1 over 2 squared. This gives us 128. Calculate the obtuse angle x in this triangle. Looking at the diagram, we can apply the sine rule to find the angle x. So this gives us sine x divided by 12 centimeters is equal to sine 39 degrees divided by 8 centimeters. When we make x the subject, we have sine inverse of sine 39 degrees divided by 8 centimeters times 12 centimeters. When we type this into the calculator, we get 70.7 degrees correct to one decimal place. We've been told in the question that angle x is an obtuse angle. And so to find this obtuse angle of x, we subtract 70.7 degrees from 180 degrees. And so this gives us x equals 109.3 degrees. The diagram shows two sectors of circles with the same center. Calculate the shaded area. The area of the shaded region is equal to the area of the big sector minus the area of the small sector. The area of the big sector is 45 degrees divided by 360 degrees times pi times 5 squared. The area of the small sector is equal to 45 degrees divided by 360 degrees times pi times 3 squared. When we type this into the calculator, we get 6.28 centimeters squared correct to 3 significant figures. Write x over 2 minus 2x plus 4 divided by x plus 1 as a single fraction in its simplest form. We can find the LCM by multiplying the denominators, and so this gives us 2 times x plus 1. 2 goes into the LCM and we are left with x plus 1, which multiplies the numerator x, giving us x times x plus 1, minus x plus 1 goes into the LCM and we are left with 2, which multiplies the numerator, giving us 2 times 2x plus 4. When we expand the brackets, x times x gives us x squared, x times 1 gives us x, minus 2 times 2x is negative 4x, negative 2 times 4 is negative 8, x minus 4x is negative 3x, and so our final answer becomes x squared minus 3x minus 8 divided by 2 times x plus 1. M is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. P is equal to 5, 6, 7, 8. Find MP. 1 times 5 plus 2 times 7 gives us 19. 1 times 6 plus 2 times 8 gives us 22. 3 times 5 plus 4 times 7 gives us 43. And 3 times 6 plus 4 times 8 gives us 50. And so our final answer becomes 19, 22, 43, 50. Find the determinant of M. The determinant of M is equal to the product of the numbers in the major diagonal, which is 4 times 1, minus the product of the numbers in the minor diagonal, which is 2 times 3. And so this gives us negative 2. The probability that the school bus is late is 9 over 10. If the school bus is late, the probability that Seb travels on the bus is 15 over 16. If the school bus is on time, the probability that Seb travels on the bus is 3 over 4. Find the probability that Seb travels on the bus. In this case, we have two different scenarios. In the first scenario, the bus is late and Seb travels on the bus. In the second scenario, the bus is early and Seb travels on the bus. The probability that the bus is late is 9 over 10. The probability that Seb travels on the bus when the bus is late is 15 over 16. The probability that the bus is early is 1 over 10. And the probability that Seb travels on the bus when the bus is early is 3 over 4. And so when we type this expression into our calculator, we get 147 over 160. Describe fully the single transformation that maps shape T onto shape A. When we look at both triangles T and A, we can tell straight away that this is a translation because shape A looks exactly like shape T, only that it's in a different location. The next thing is to find the translation vector. From the illustration on the diagram, we can tell that this vector is -1, -5. So the full description is translation by the vector -1, -5. On the grid, reflect shape T in the line y is equal to x. So first, we need to draw the line y is equal to x. Point D stays in the same location because it's on the line of reflection. Since we move point C 1 unit to the right to touch the line of reflection, we need to also move 1 unit downward to pin the new position of point C. For point A, since we move 4 units to the right to touch the line of reflection, we also need to move 4 units downwards to pin the new position of point A. For point B, we move 4 units to the right to touch the line of reflection, and so we also need to move 4 units downwards to pin the new position of point B. After we have done this, we can now map out the reflected image of shape T in the line y is equal to x. A pipe is completely full of water. Water flows through the pipe at a speed of 1.2 meters per second into a tank. The cross-section of the pipe has an area of 6 centimeters squared. Calculate the number of liters of water flowing into the tank in 1 hour. So first, we need to find the volume of water flowing through the pipe in 1 second. Then based on this, we can now find the volume of water flowing through the pipe in 1 hour. So to find the volume of water flowing through the pipe in 1 second, that will be equal to the cross-sectional area of the pipe times the linear flow rate through the pipe, and so that is equal to 6 centimeters squared times 1.2 meters per second. We need to change 6 centimeters squared into meters squared, and so that gives us 6 times 10 raised to the power -2 squared meters squared, and so this gives us 0.00072 meter cubed per second. So now that we have found the volume of water passing through the pipe in 1 second, we can find the total volume of water that has passed through the pipe in 1 hour, and that will be equal to 0.00072 meter cubed per second times 1 hour. 1 hour is equal to 3,600 seconds, and so we now have the total volume as 0.2592 meter cubed. We need to convert this into liters, and so to do this, we multiply 0.2592 by 1000 liters, and that gives us 2592 liters. The universal set E is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Set A is equal to 0, 2, 4, 5, 6. Set B is equal to 1, 2, 5. Complete each of the following statements. A intersection B, so that is the number of elements common to both set A and set B, and so that is equal to 2, 5. NB represents the total number of elements in set B, and so that is equal to 3. 0, 4, 6 is equal to the elements that are in set A and not in set B. 2, 4 is a subset of A. F of x is equal to 3x minus 5. G of x is equal to 2 raised to the power x. Find f of g of 3. First, we need to find f of g of x, and that is equal to 3 times 2 raised to the power x minus 5. So now, f of g of 3 becomes 3 times 2 raised to the power 3 minus 5, and this gives us 19. Find f inverse of x. We know that f of x is equal to 3x minus 5. So in our first step, we replace f of x with x and replace x with y, and this gives us x is equal to 3y minus 5. When we make y the subject, we have x plus 5 divided by 3, which is the same as f inverse of x. And so f inverse of x is also equal to x plus 5 divided by 3. O is the origin, OP is equal to 2OA, OQ is equal to 3OB, and PM is equal to MQ. OP is equal to P and OQ is equal to Q. Find in terms of P and Q in its simplest form. BA. BA is equal to BO plus OA. BO is 1/3 of QO and OA is half of OP. QO is negative Q, OP is P. So now we have 1/3 times negative Q plus half P, which is the same as negative 1/3 Q plus half P. Find the position vector of M. The position vector of M is equal to OP plus PM. PM is half of PQ and PQ is equal to PO plus OQ. OP is P, PO is negative P, OQ is Q. When we simplify this, we have half P plus half Q. A car travels at 20 meters per second for 15 seconds before it comes to rest by decelerating at 2.5 meters per second squared. Find the total distance traveled. Whenever we have a speed-time graph, we know that the total distance traveled is equal to the area under the graph. And in this case, the area under the graph is a trapezium. And so to find the total distance traveled, we apply the area of a trapezium, which is half of A plus B times height. From the graph, A is equal to 15, H is equal to 20, and B is equal to 15 plus this length right here, which we have labeled as change in T. So now we need to find this change in T. Change in T represents the time duration for which the car was decelerating. And so to find this value, we can apply the formula A is equal to V over T. When we make T the subject, we have V over A, where V is equal to 20 minus 0 meters per second divided by A, which is 2.5 meters per second squared. And so this gives us 8 seconds. So now for our total distance traveled, we have half of 15 plus 15 plus 8 times 20 meters. And this gives us 380 meters. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this video useful. See you in the next video. Bye guys.